Welcome back to the Phronesis Perspective. Today, we're tackling a crucial issue: how to make your money last in retirement. Many retirees worry about outliving their savings, but with the right strategy, you can work to create a sustainable income and enjoy your golden years stress-free. To help us break it all down, we have financial advisor Richard Osman from Phronesis Wealth Management to discuss just that. Welcome, Rich.
Thanks, Matt. This is such an important topic, and I'm definitely excited to share some key strategies with you.
All right, let's start with managing withdrawals. How can retirees make sure they don't run out of money too soon?
Well, I believe the key here is just to follow a structured withdrawal strategy. A popular rule of thumb is the 4% rule. Basically states you can withdraw 4% of your retirement savings annually. However, this is not a one-size-fits-all situation. Some people may need to adjust that based on their spending habits, market conditions, and life expectancy.
That makes a lot of sense.
Well, I'm going to tell you what else, Matt. I also recommend using a bucket strategy. This means dividing your assets into short-term, medium-term, and long-term investments. Your short-term bucket holds cash and liquid assets for immediate expenses. Your immediate-term bucket consists of bonds and conservative investments, and your long-term bucket includes stocks for long-term growth. In this way, you don't have to sell stocks in a downturn to cover expenses. And this is very important, not having to sell in a down market. This doesn't mean that 3 separate accounts, but it does mean that amounts expected to be distributed over the next 3 to 5 years should be invested with safety in mind first.
So, Richard, what about healthcare costs? Many retirees are concerned about some of the unexpected medical expenses that come in retirement.
Well, absolutely. Healthcare is one of the biggest expenses in retirement. First, retirees should take full advantage of Medicare, but they should also consider supplemental plans like Medigap or Medicare Advantage to cover those out-of-pocket costs. Health savings accounts are another very powerful tool. If you have an HSA before retiring, you can use those funds, invest them tax-free, and then use them for qualified medical expenses in retirement. So long-term care insurance is also worth considering, especially for those with a family history of chronic conditions. Planning for healthcare costs early can definitely prevent a major financial breakdown or burden later.
Those are some great points. Now, let's talk about creating a sustainable income. How can retirees ensure a steady cash flow?
Well, one word: diversify. Instead of relying solely on Social Security, retirees should obviously consider annuities, dividend-paying stocks, rental income, bonds. Annuities can provide a guaranteed income stream, while dividends and rental income, just add another layer of financial security and diversity. Also, delaying Social Security benefits can significantly increase your monthly payments. So if you can wait until age 70 to start collecting, you'll definitely receive a higher benefit compared to claiming at the age of 62. It's all about balancing those different income sources to ensure financial stability throughout retirement.
Yeah, that's some excellent advice. Any final tips for retirees looking to make their money last?
Well, yes. First, and I can't stress this enough, create and stick to a budget. Even retirement, tracking expenses is critical. Next, stay invested. Many retirees become too conservative with their investments, but maintaining some exposure to growth assets like stocks definitely helps fight off inflation. Lastly, review your financial plan annually and make small adjustments as needed instead of delaying that and making a large adjustment later. Life changes and your financial strategy should evolve with you.
Rich, it's all about that great evolution. And all these insights have been incredibly helpful. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today.
Well, I'm always very happy to share my insights, Matt.
And thank you to our viewers for tuning into this episode of the Phronesis Perspective. Be sure to take a close look at your retirement plan and implement these strategies to plan for your future. And hey, don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to this channel for future episodes. Until next time, I'm Matt Ackerman. He's Rich Osman. Thanks for joining us on the Phronesis Perspective.